What's good, everybody? Here we are on NQ Nasdaq 100 from the bottom to the top. What am I even saying? We're going to be making money today. That's all they really care about. Okay, you see that on the bottom left? What is that? If you're anything familiar with my channel, if you're anything familiar with how I talk, how I basically think about different things, then you know that this shit is bloatware. Okay, this is just absolute bloatware. This is TradingView trying to promote their ass service. It's literally ass. What do you even get from buying TradingView Premium? I had it as well for like multiple years at this point, and I don't even know myself why I bought it to begin with. Like, I don't know. I think it was because I wanted to have indicator or some shit. I don't know why I even had it, man. Some subscriptions, man. I'm paying for that shit $300 for an entire year, and I don't even know what I'm buying there, okay? Now, I have completely just stopped that subscription. I mean, in general, this is just on some BS, so we have to stop this kind of stuff. Okay, let me resize this. There we go. Now, what do we have in the making? Basically, this is going to be NQ. We definitely want to trade onto the downside. This is going to be on the daily time frame alone, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't hold much weight compared to what we're going to be doing on the 50-minute time frame. But what we can basically spot is number one, we have a no candle. Number two, we're probably going to be trading into the previous day low. And number three is going to be, we have that entire price action gap. So, I mean, the bias just screams onto the downside. It's such an easy day today, to be honest. Like, this is going to be pretty easy. But let's still go into the 15-minute time frame and check this out. So our most extreme points on the 15-minute time frame is going to be that high, that low. Okay, from that point on, there hasn't basically changed much. But at the same time, also a lot of people are going to try to trade toward that entire price action gap. So that's something to keep in mind. Some people are going to be saying, well, you know, there's not much logic attached to it, but there actually is. Okay, so when there is some kind of reason on why the price should trade lower, and everybody and their grandma believes that we're going to be trading lower, then there's a good chance that this exactly is not going to be happening. We're going to run that high, and only from that point on we're going to go lower. That is a pretty valid scenario. You have to think about it. There's quite a lot of logic attached to it, but I do believe we're just going to trade lower. Like, don't worry about it, man. We're going to trade lower. I just believe that there's going to be imbalances that we need to fill out. On the 15-minute time frame, let me check this out real quick. When are we going to hit? Okay, it's like still 50 minutes. I got a little bit pretty early onto the charts. We're just going to be observing it, but I'll pretty much set up an entire alarm, man, and do some stuff on the side. Yo. To be honest, guys, like, I completely fall asleep. I need to go to sleep. I need this, man. But we're going to be finishing the hardest job in the world, okay, man. I need to get back. Reboot. We back up. So what was I about to say? Yeah, we're going to be continuing the hardest job on earth. Right now we are sitting in this 50-minute FEG, and I like that, actually. We could be having the distribution lower, to be honest, man. Going to be the that's a good we could be already taking it onto the downside, to be honest. Let me see, like 2 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, we're definitely not going to be rushing, to say the least. What I just don't like is going to be not this one. It's going to be all of that. These are going to be relative highs at the end of the day. We're going to go into the 1 minute. All of that could be taken out. It's hard to say right now. I don't really have a strict bias, because usually also at like 8:30, I like it to just wait out, take out liquidity one more time, and then from there on drop lower. Then it's just usually what happens a lot of the times, and it seems like we are trading onto the upside. We're not really waiting this out. I want this to be it. And also, this is pretty much going to be our 8:30 line. Is it really going to be that candle that's going to be taking it out? I mean, we got news coming up, but that's only like later on at 2 p.m. New York local time, so it doesn't really matter. And also just a general thing, because some people are going to be just asking themselves, okay, how do you trade news? How do you trade this and that? News are not something that invalidates a trade setup. News, you're not going to be losing, and yes, this is a hot take, but you're not going to be losing because there was news, and you will also not be losing, or I mean winning, if there's going to be news. And you'll also not run into a break even if there's news, okay? News only accelerate the price action. If you know how to trade news, then this is pretty much also going to be working out. Of course, I don't recommend trading news as a whole, even though it kind of sounds like, okay, I'm also trading news. I don't care about it as much as like a regular other futures kid in his bedroom. But at the same time, I sort of still respect it, right? Because it does have some volatile moves, and therefore, you have to be careful of that. Okay, so now we have taken out all of that stuff. I don't believe in this high being taken out. I mean, it might do that, but for now, the move is really lower. From this point on, what I would like to see is have a liquidity rate internally. So I want this to basically run higher, take out liquidity one more time, and then from there on we could be seeing the distribution lower. This has to basically happen in order for me to take a good trade on this one. Okay, from this point on, this is exactly something that I like. Taking out that high, I mean, it's not confirmed, but we're starting to see the exact same pattern. Okay, we've taken out the high. From this point on, the first candle that is going to give a significant movement onto the downside, I am going to be taking it. This is just pretty much such an easy day. Oh my god, dude. Sometimes I have said it in the previous video, and also, by the way, I really like having this entire channel, because on the previous channel, what do we have to do? We have to basically put out quality, because you guys just don't want to watch something raw like this, even though this is pretty much the most valuable stuff if you want it like this, right? I'm live trading, I'm showing you what I'm taking. There is still going to be information reserved only for the guys that are going to be joining the one-on-one mentorship, right? I'm going to be guiding you through your entire trading journey until you're going to get your first profit and payout. Before that, we're not going to be stopping, and also making your entire mentorship feedback, but nonetheless, I'm still giving you a lot of value for free. Okay, so just keep that in mind. These videos are gold, basically. We're trading onto the upside. We've taken out that entire high. Why is this so thin? There we go. Taking out that high, and once again, I just need to see some kind of candle that's approximately something like this, and then I'm going to be taking it off from that. Or it can also be something like this. So one candle and then the second candle, and then when you drop down onto the, so this is on the 1 minute, then if you drop down onto the 2 minute time frame, this is going to look a candle like so. Okay, well, that's also okay to take from this point on. Here, stop loss, take profit all the way lower. You already know the drill. And I still also don't believe that it's going to be a higher day. That is a possibility, simply because it's just so obvious to trade lower. I've seen it so many times. If it's so obvious that we want to be trading lower, then in these cases, we're just not going to be doing it. But I do believe that we're just going to do that. Well, although we have that equilibrium that has not been hit. But now I'm just going to stick to the bias, because that's also just a general thing that a lot of you guys do wrong. You're not able to stay to the bias. You have 10 different reasons. Man, maybe to the upside. Well, then you have another 10. Maybe to the downside. And then you end up in taking either no trade or taking the wrong trade. So stick to the bias. Rarely, I'm also going to be basically changing my opinion. Sometimes if the setup just basically told me, okay, start, you're just wrong on that entire thing, you need to change the bias or just stop trading, okay? I mean, being wrong on the bias doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, let me basically invert the entire analysis, and now instead of taking a long, I'm going to be taking a short. No, being wrong and identifying that can also just mean, okay, there's not going to be any trade that day. Okay, so don't see it as something that you're forced taking trade, because that's not how it works. But yeah, we're starting to have significant movement onto the downside. Can we get lower, basically below all of that stuff? That'll be fire, man. Okay, we're taking a short. There we go, guys. Once again, I'm just going to be getting out manually. I don't really think that you need to always have a stop loss. I mean, keep in mind, this is more so because I'm monitoring the trade. I'm looking out for the thing, right? If you're just doing this, please always use a stop loss. Do take profit. Don't do as I say, not as I do. You know that saying? Just do as I'm telling you, not as I'm doing, okay? Because I just know sometimes I just don't like having a hard stop loss. Let's just say I'm going to put it below or above certain highs and lows. You know, sometimes I just see the price actually moving around, and then I was like, okay, man, now I see some kind of confirmation point that we should not be getting out at this point, and there's still reason to trade lower. Well, but in this case, you know, I'm just going to be out of the trade, right? But this just comes with experience. I'm looking out for specific things that need to happen in order for me to consider it. But once we're getting above these highs or something like that, and there's really no confirmation in ever returning lower, then I'm just going to be closing manually. That is sort of the problem to begin with. If you are going to be trying to replicate that and trying to go for, okay, I'm gonna just do it as star, right? I'm gonna not set up a stop loss. I'm gonna just get out manually. Well, you're probably not going to be psychologically available to get out when you have to get out, because you'll be thinking, nah, man, you know, a little bit higher, this can run a little bit higher and so on, right? And so you're going to be ending up with a trade that you shouldn't, or maybe you should have taken that trade, right? But you're just going to be losing or losing more than you should, simply because you weren't able to close a trade when you were already proven wrong. With that being said, but I can't tell you an approximate stop loss. That would be something that I could look out for. It is going to be somewhere above these highs. It's not even going to be that high. It's going to be above these highs, somewhere in here, okay? Even higher, depending on how the price action is going to look like, okay? Once we're approaching that high, then I'm probably just going to be out way sooner than that. But as of right now, a lot more has to happen in order for me to just get out of the trade. So just keep that in mind. Also, I kind of like how the 15-minute candle is developing. I mean, yes, we are disrespecting that entire FEG, but I do believe that we're just going to be trading lower from this point on. There's a good chance. Previously, you know, this will be something, okay, we have disrespect the FEG. Now we're just going to trade onto the upside. But if you're going to look closely onto this entire candle, you know, there's like 1 minute left. A lot can happen in 1 minute, but let's just say that not so much is going to happen. Well, in that case, this entire 50-minute candle is going to have a large wick. A large wick means that buyers were in control, but they were not able to stay there. So that means that the price is just going to drag lower. But let's just see, like, let's not talk too soon. I want to wait this 1 minute, this 50-minute candle out. And yeah, that's exactly like always the case, right? You're saying something, you're trying to predict it, and then it's just doing the opposite. Let's see what we're going to be doing with that FEG. Not much so far. I'm going to be setting up alerts from now. Let me put the alert. So the very first alert is going to be in here. There we go. And then, well, this is less likely to happen right now, but I'm also going to be setting it up. This is not going to be our break-even point. Our break-even point is going to be that low. Because for some of you guys, it would be this one, but no, this has only been created when we have taken the trade, right? This low wasn't even there. It was never there at that point in time. So this was the nearest low. Okay, this is the break-even low. So also, we're just going to be setting up an entire stop loss for that stuff. Simple as that. I mean, an alarm. And yeah, from that point on, okay. Can you just stop that shit, man? This is just so annoying. You can't, man. You can't imagine how annoying that shit is. Set the entire alert a little bit lower. And from that point on, man, I'm going back to sleep. Come on, dude. I was about to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden, this shit just... So position is looking something like this, man. We just want to try onto the downside. This could be our first target, but we're pretty much just going to be trading lower. I don't care. Stop loss is going to be that higher, and we're going to be trading all the way lower, probably even to this target. Let's just see how that goes. So this is pretty much going to be the trade idea. Yeah, from this point on. Yeah. I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, this time this is going to be a hard stop loss, man. I'm just hella tired. This time, once the price gets higher to that high, then I'm definitely going to be closing the trade. Like, there's no going to be... Okay, man, did I really sleep? How much was this? This was like 30 minutes or so, man. I took like a small nap. The reason why I'm just so tired, man, I just didn't sleep all this entire time. I'm awake for several hours on end. That's why. That's where it's coming from. Pretty much we are not having something new. There's not going to be any new information that I can count on or bouncing off this entire BPR right now. Not good. But I still don't believe that we're going to be trading higher. 15-minute time frame is looking, it's a 50-50 on the 15-minute time frame, to be honest. 5-minute time frame is looking a little bit better. It's looking more promising. Why? Because now all of that liquidity has been taken out. And then from here on, there's a good chance that we're just going to be continuing lower. Probably go for that candle high and then just reverse. On the 1-minute time frame, it's looking actually quite fine because we're in this entire FEG. We're just going to be consolidating a little bit and then lower. But that's like a way separate thing, okay? That's like a whole another thing to look out for if you want it like that. Yeah. For the fractal time frames is pretty much also looking the same as on the 1-minute time frame. We be moving. I like to move it. I like to move it. Ooh. That's exactly when you know that the system is rebooting. And to be honest, man, this is the hardest job in the world, and that's exactly the reason. I mean, the better you get at this, the lazier you get, to be honest. I'm telling it to you right now. I'm telling it to you right now. The better you get at trading, the lazier you get. Because in the very early days when I was just learning out all of that entire stuff, do you think that I was able to do something like this? Wait, actually, let me turn up the light. I'm gonna put the mic in here in case I'm going to be saying something. Yo, what's good everybody, man? I have basically just lost it. I was just completely dead. I am going to blend in a clip right now where you can see I was just completely sleeping. I was setting up alerts the entire time, and then from that point on, every time that shit rang, I was just waking up and doing that shit because, you know, trading is just more important than my sleep, my health for me. And man, I just feel obligated to do that shit. But it was such a nightmare and it was really not good for me, you know. Anyways, as you can see on my screen, let me go quickly on TradingView. There we go. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So what I basically did is I set up the entire stop loss a little bit higher, but I kept the entire TP the same. Well, and from that point on, I was just basically letting it roll, right? I didn't even do anything. I just set a hard stop loss in here, a hard TP in here, and I was like, okay, I'm just okay leaving the trade as it is, and potentially also missing out on profits, because a lot of the times when we're trading in here and then the next candle is also quite bearish like that, then, you know, this will be somewhere in here ATP, which is also already pretty significant amount of gains that we could have gotten more out of it, but that's okay. Again, like, I was just completely dead. I just couldn't do it, man. But there we pretty much go. More interestingly, let's journal the trade real quick. I mean, you have seen that I've taken it. What do you want more? You have seen the analysis. I was just, yeah, let's not talk about it. So we're going to be journaling the trade real quick. As usual, man, we are doing our homework, because people who don't do their homework, they're just going to fuck up, and they be wondering why did I lose the proverb challenge, because you didn't do what you have to do. Okay, to be honest, I'm gonna just say rushed. Okay, you know, I'm being honest here. Like, you have to be honest with this journal. If you're not honest with this journal, then there's no point in journaling. So I'm gonna just say I was rushed because I wanted to go to sleep, which doesn't mean it was a bad trade setup. It was just, you know, the entire thing on its own. Man, I have to remove that stuff that is still there. But yeah, this was a short. This was a TP. We've taken it at 8 a.m. and then approximately here. Okay, let's add the trade. Yeah, it was pretty rough, guys. I think I made around like 4 or 5k. I haven't checked yet. I just saw it on TradingView. Let me go to the library real quick. Yeah, 5.7k. Like, this is just absolutely insane. In my sleep making this. Okay, anyways, guys, you know, thank you guys for watching. This was still a fire live trading session, but I mean, it's a win. I just can't complain. You know, a guy who just made 5.7k, sometimes even to me this looks unreal. You know, how did I make that amount of money in this little bit of time? I was sleeping, my man, and I did that. Okay, anyways, guys, see you in the next one.